Hello, my name is Brandon, and welcome to Retro Reactions, a place where I experience amazing music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s for the very first time. And today we're going to be traveling all the way back to 1976 to listen to Dance on a Volcano by the amazing Genesis. I'm very excited for this one because this is the first album where Phil Collins took the lead for vocals. Peter Gabriel had already left the band at this point, so I kind of see this as Genesis' middle era, in between, their 80s and their 70s prog with Peter Gabriel. So I know I'm going to love it. I love Genesis so much, and I'm loving them even more with each song that I discover. So here we go.
She can turn you to stone, so you better start doing it right. Better start doing it right. You're halfway up and you're halfway down, and the back on your back is turning you around. Up there, and remember, you don't look back. Whatever you do, better start doing it right. Crosses are green, the crosses are blue. Your friends didn't make it through. Out of the night and out of the dark, into the fire and into the fight. Well, that's the way the heroes go. To a cracking mother, blazing hot from molten rock.
Wow, a lot going on here. Definitely different, very different than I remember from the older Genesis that I've heard. But still, their sound, just a little bit updated. And I don't think I've heard anything from their last album, which I believe is The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Is that what it's called? So I don't really have anything to compare as far as directly before this one. But it seems like, they're still in their Genesis lane, but they're doing a slight turn. Obviously, there was a big change in the band when their lead vocalist left. Finally, they decided that Phil should take over. And, still the same other songwriters presenting their ideas, but like I said, a slight turn, and I absolutely love it. I think a lot of that is because of the wonderful, as always, Tony is wonderful in the band, but it's really synth heavy here, and I'm noticing that I think maybe it's dominating more than in past songs, or just in a different way. Some very, very deep, deep, powerful, rich notes on the synth, deep bass notes going on here, but then also a lot of interesting, intricate synth parts on both sides of my head going on. So love that. Always love Tony's work. Same thing with the guitar, I keep noticing this, but two different guitar parts, one on the right, one on the left, complementing each other perfectly. And I love when bands do that. Also in the verses, I think I'm hearing really interesting time signatures going on here. I don't know enough musically about that as to what they are exactly, but something seems different there, and I really love that Genesis uses the unique time signatures, especially like in something like Supper's Ready. We all know that section there where that happens. And also the drums here are really deep, powerful, surrounding. I don't know how much reverb is on them, but really surrounding me. And just this whole mix is so impactful, so powerful, so different, yet still Genesis, Especially the fact that Phil sounds so much like Peter. That just kind of helped the transition so seamlessly from one lead singer to the other, I think. So loving this. Let's see what else they have to offer.
Mother, blazing hot, the molten rock spills down over the land. And the love is the lover who licks your boots away. Yeah. You don't want to fall as well, but you better start the dance. Do you want to dance with me?
Love that part.
Music's playing and that's alright, but you're never first that grew into a life. The edge of this hill is the edge of the world, and if you're gonna cross, better start doing it right. Better start doing it right. Better start doing it right. Let the dance begin.
Classic Genesis. Well, that was a workout. Wow, that was absolutely incredible. So very unique. I am absolutely in love with this song after just one listen. I'm obsessed. I'm infatuated. I'll write love letters to this song. I wrote that I felt drenched in sonic paradise as I was listening to all of the song in different ways, from the ones I described already just to that ending. Well, that was a whole nother ballgame. We'll get to that. But, I read that the critics were very skeptical once Peter left. They figured Genesis would fail, and they were probably ready to trash this album when it was first released. And imagine hearing that as the first song when they went to review this album. I mean, how could it not have blown their whatever off, Just absolutely incredible. And based on what you guys have told me, I think the whole album is at the same level of greatness, of superiority. Just unbelievable. Loved Phil's singing. I'm a huge Phil fan ever since I was a child, and growing up on his hits in the 80s, as well as Genesis hits in the 80s. And it was perfect here. His voice is perfect for this type of song, this type of vibe, the Genesis vibe. Soaring vocals. There was some really interesting sections, which I'll have to go back and hear, that really caught my eye. I think he did something like really low or deep or in a kind of humorous voice. I'll have to check that out again, but I noticed something like that. Just loved his voice throughout. Once again, they sped up the tempo. I love when they mess with tempo and do the peaks and valleys, not just with their dynamics and volume, but also with tempo and style, anything. They can go anywhere they want in their songs, which I love. And they do go there, and it makes it so much more interesting. And that last section, oh my goodness, unbelievable, incredible, and so unique. Just blew my mind. I wrote down, it's the Tony Show at that point in the song. Just what a way to end the song. So different. I always credit him. I always admire him. I always call him incredible, unbelievable, a master at what he does. So talented, just like the rest of them. But I have a special place in my heart for him in this band. And, I just have to keep repeating it because he proves that in every single song. And I just love it. It's kind of unreal what he's capable of, limitless what he's capable of. And this section at the end, it just kept going, and I think it was shaking the notes at one point, going, I was actually feeling the movement of that, and definitely got to go back and listen to that, unlike anything I've heard. And it was kind of giving my brain a scramble or something like that. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure you got similar feeling when you first heard this song, or probably you get that feeling every time you hear this song. But again, so unique. Even for Genesis, I don't think I've heard a part like that with the synths. And I know I've heard a lot of synth parts and a lot of amazing synth parts with this band. But again, that part was just unbelievable. The Tony Show. Whew. Like I said, what a workout on your ears and your mind and your soul for this song. And it's only number 1 out of 8? I can only imagine how amazing the rest of the album is and how amazing future albums are. And of course, the past albums that I haven't heard, those are amazing too, but in their own different ways. And so all in all, it's Genesis, from then till now, 70s till today. And it always will be, whether it's 80s Genesis, which I grew up with and loved, 70s prog with Peter, or 70s prog / transition with Phil. I personally love it all. And goodness, they're one of my favorite bands in history. And at this point, I've always loved them and appreciated them, but now, especially after hearing all this amazing music from them and knowing what's in store, how much more I have to discover, they're quickly becoming one of my favorite bands of all time, up there with my top 5, Depeche, Cure, Pet Shop Boys, Tears for Fears, and Duran Duran. Just incredible what they are capable of, and the sonic paradise, like I said, that they put you in, no matter what song it is, just in different ways. So I'm going to check out the lyrics now. So somewhat vague lyrics, but again, using the metaphor of a volcano as some kind of task in life that you're heading towards, trying to overcome, trying to achieve, and just the difficulties involved. We feel hesitation, we feel scared, we want to look back and maybe go backwards. There's cracks in the earth, meaning there's a lot of things that could go wrong, a lot of chances for failure. But it's all about the journey and the bravery that's involved that we need, the conviction that we need to keep going up that volcano, that mountain, whatever you want to call it. And it can be applied to so many things in life, so many journeys that we all take, so many different journeys that we all take. For instance, me, I could apply this to, or anyone who has a YouTube channel. It can be applied to that kind of venture and all the obstacles involved and, all the hard work and all the possibilities for failure. It certainly isn't easy, as I know. And anyway, I love that it can be applied in so many different ways. I did some research, and some people said it was discussing war. a good interpretation is the fact that Phil just took over for the band on lead, and this song might be describing that, his journey ahead and the fear, apprehension he might have, taking on this huge task when it's something he had never done before. I know he was a drummer in this band and other bands, but I don't think he'd ever been a lead vocalist until this point. So really interesting lyrics. And I can't forget, this line is probably the best line, and I think a lot of you would agree. And the lava's the lover who licks your boots away. And again, I think that metaphor right there is discussing the challenges, the dangers, the possibility for getting burned, failing in this task that you're trying to achieve. Really, really interesting. Can apply to so many situations in life. So love those lyrics for sure. And I don't think I have any other choice here on my rating. When a song hits me this hard, pleases my ears and my brain and my soul this quickly, and just does things that are so unexpected and completely shocks me, actually, then I have no choice but to give it the Epic Platinum Record Award. And yes, it's completely well-deserved. And now I understand why you all voted for this one, why you all kept suggesting it. And maybe it's the best thing off the album, I don't know, but it's just so amazing. And I don't think I've fallen in love so quickly with a song too often on this channel. I mean, I appreciate them. They blow me away. Pink Floyd, a good example. But to connect so quickly with the song musically, and I think that's due to the synths, so definitely deserving of that rating, so deserving for myself personally. Really excited to hear more from this album. This middle era, as I call it, of Genesis may end up being my favorite if it's based on this one song. We'll see. But excited to discover everything that they have to offer, from the beginning eras to this middle era, and much more from their 80s. I just love everything from start to finish, the beginning till now. I know they're not making albums now, but they're still touring, I believe, which is pretty cool. In fact, I think the only two I haven't heard mentioned are Entangled and Robbery, Assault, and Battery. Of course, this one, everyone was suggesting. Squonk, I've been suggested, and that really intrigues me because I just found out it's a mythical character. And so, of course, I'm really excited. And I think I read that one was based similar to Kashmir from Zeppelin. I could be wrong, but I think it's that one. And any song that sounds like Kashmir, I'm really excited to hear. Somebody just suggested Madman Moon to me, I think today actually, because they know how much I love keyboards, so that one's probably great. Ripples, I believe, is a slow song, and that was highly suggested. Same with Los Endos. I don't know what that is, but I think it's an upbeat song, and just the titles, their titles always intrigue me. They're always so different. And you see something like that, and what does that mean? What does Squonk mean? And just so many interesting titles. Trick of the Tail, I think, is famous. Well, I don't know. It's got 5 million views, but I've heard the name. Well, duh, it's the album. That's probably why the album title. But anyway, that one's probably great too. I know that's been suggested. So, like I said, I want to get to them all, and I plan to get to them all. It's just going to take a long time because, again, so many bands, so many albums, so many songs, so few days in the week, but I will get to them. Genesis, like I said, is one of my favorite bands now, much more than before. So just going to take some time, but I want to hear their entire catalog, Whether I like certain eras more than others, I want to hear it all because they're worthy of listening to everything that they've created for sure. All right, I think I've rambled enough, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below if you wish to discuss Genesis with me. Anything past, current era, or future from them. I love it all, like you know. So as always, really appreciate your support. You take care, you stay safe. Remember to let peace, calm, and light into your day and night. And I will see you next time in the past.